Hi, my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, Gabby on Paper. Today's video is going to be a big money update on some changes I have coming up. I'm doing a couple cash unstuffings, and I'm just going over my debt payoff plan. So let's just go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I'm doing today is a cash unstuffing. As I mentioned in my last video, I had to use 3 of my sinking funds to fund some of the purchases I made in June. And they were things that fit in each of those categories. I'll go over what they were as I unstuff them. So home, so I have 20, 40, 50, 60, 75, 80, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, $91. Just want to make sure that's right. The next one is computer. For home, so the things that we bought for home were the bed frame, a cooler, a backpack cooler so we could go to the beach, and then some camping chairs to act as our beach chairs. And the reason I could send them home is because they're both for me and my boyfriend, and not specifically for me, and I think that's the best category that they would fit in. It's for our apartment, for living, I guess. Next is miscellaneous, and I had to unstuff the full amount that's in here. It doesn't cover everything that I spent, but basically I was getting my work from home setup ready, including my monitor, keyboard and mouse, and just a couple of other accessories I needed. So I completely used up this category, and then the rest I'm just taking it out from my regular paychecks. And again, this is all in my last video, the budget wrap up. We had 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, plus $58. Gosh, and I completely skipped over computer. So I bought my MacBook Pro, and I had over $700 in Apple gift cards that I've been gathering all year for my birthday, Valentine's Day, just random things like that. I do have a good chunk here in my computer sinking fund, and then the difference there would just come from my paychecks in June to cover that. I also did trade in my old laptop. It was so old, so I only got like $100 back, but better than nothing because I'm really not going to use it. So yeah. So we have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. 550, 600, 650, 670, 685. Let's count that one more time. All right, so plus 685. So I should have $834 in all this to go back to the bank. So I'm just gonna put this here and then move this to the side for now. We're gonna come back to all of this a little later. Okay, so the next part of the video is going to be my debt payoff plan. If you watched my debt-free journey and then confession video, you'll see that I have racked up some credit card debt and I needed to come up with a debt payoff plan to get that taken care of. It's not as much as it was the first time around, but I didn't ever want to to be in debt again. So basically what I'm doing, my debt payoff plan is very simple actually. I had considered not doing this and just paying it off month by month, but zoom in a little bit down here. So this I've already paid off. I paid this off on June 15th. This one will be paid on, today's the 4th of July. I'm actually planning on paying this on Wednesday of this week. I'm just waiting for something to post, and then I will get that paid off. And then this one right here, I'm going to make monthly payments on. So I do have some money in savings, and I do have a pretty hefty emergency fund, and I was really torn on what I wanted to do, like just pay it month by month because I didn't want to use any more of my savings, or just pay it off. Ultimately, I decided I'm going to take my savings. It's hurting me to do it, but I think it'll be good because I don't want to do this again. And I think the feeling of having to take my savings to pay that off is going to help me in not racking up this credit card debt again. So I paid off my Nordstrom card already because I knew what I was keeping from my purchases and what I was returning. The Old Navy / Gap card, I wasn't really sure, and that's why I held off, and I am paying this on Wednesday once a return posts, and it's a very small return, so it's very minimal. I'll just completely pay it off from the savings that I have in my bank account. And then the only one that I decided to make monthly payments on is my Apple card. And the Apple card really is like the 0% like financing for Apple products for like a year or whatever. So that's what that is. It's my iPad that I bought earlier in the year that I'm paying off in monthly installments. And because it is 0% interest, I decided to just go ahead and pay it each month. But I want to make sure it gets paid before the end of the year. So if it's looking like the payments won't be paid off by the end of the year, at the end of the year, I will just pay that off completely. And yeah, that is my debt payoff plan for these 3 little debts that I accrued this year. It sucks, but that's where we are. And yeah. The next thing I wanted to talk about was a sinking fund update. So you just saw me unstuffing my sinking funds for the ones that I had used up in June. But what I have decided to do is actually to just stop funding my sinking funds. I have decided it's not something that works for me anymore. And well, I'm new to budgeting, and I wasn't loving this is my first time doing sinking funds. I started budgeting in really at the end of April. Up until April, I was like the first part of the year, I was just tracking my expenses. What I'm not loving about it is I'm contributing such a small amount to each of these like sinking funds that I have. A small amount to Christmas, small amount to gifts and self-care. And I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. I was heavily focusing on my computer like building my computer sinking funds. So obviously now that that's taken care of, I would have more money to put towards all of these. But really what was bothering me was, one, that I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere. But the other big thing was that I really want to focus on more long-term goals. Like, all these things are just to spend money. Like, this is a long-term goal. And I mean, I think that one was it, but I was throwing minimal amounts of money into the someday maybe fund. Like, everything else is to spend. It's hobbies is spending money, shopping is spending money, annual spending money, so it's Black Friday. And really, like, we don't really have plans of buying a house or doing anything like that right now, but we want to prepare in case we do, like we've talked about, and it's something we've considered. We really love the city, and it's a lot more affordable to buy here in Chicago than it was in Salt Lake City, at least for the area that we would have wanted to be in Salt Lake. So we are considering, in the future, I mean, this would be a little bit like a year or two down the road, so not anytime soon, is, buying a house. And if we do decide to do that, like, I want to make sure that we have savings ready to go for a down payment and wouldn't have to, then take another year or whatever to save money. And then if we end up deciding not to buy a house, because honestly, I could go either way. Like, sometimes I do want one, sometimes I don't. I like being a renter. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't feel like it's throwing away money, because houses obviously come with unexpected expenses, like buying a new furnace or a new AC or redoing your roof or whatever. Like, here, like apartment living, you just call the building and they'll send maintenance and get anything taken care of. But I also do see the benefits of having like a home, like long-term, that's yours, and building equity, and hopefully it going up in value and things like that. So I see both sides. We just don't know for sure if we want to, but we want to prepare in case we do. I mean, it'll never, like, if we end up deciding not to, there is something else that we want to do, and it doesn't hurt to have money saved. So with all that in mind, I'm gonna stop funding my sinking funds, and this is going to be my new plan. I'm just gonna write it down and post it, because, no, I'll pull out my notebook. I didn't put anything together for this. So from my paychecks, after I fund my bills and my variable expenses, I plan on throwing the extra money to these savings accounts. And some of them is actually investments. So basically, 40%, I'm gonna try and write big, 40% of any extra money will go to my Roth IRA. 35% will go to long-term savings, and then the final 25% will be short-term savings. So these items will like fluctuate. Like if 1 month I'm seeing that I need to prepare for something or whatever, I'll throw more into my short-term savings. This is not like a hard and fast rule. Like, at a minimum, I want to send $500 a month to my Roth IRA. Anything over that is a little flexible, but so for example, if 40%, let's say $600 after all my bills and variable expenses have been paid, I'll send $500 for sure to my Roth IRA. The other $100 I can work with in case I have other things coming up. Long-term saving, oh, I forgot term. Long-term savings, so this would be potential down payment for a house, or my someday maybe category for my sinking funds. This would likely be one or the other because we could not afford to do this if we end up going with the house. And then short-term savings basically are like the sinking fund categories, just all lumped into one. So this is where, like, let's see, any bigger expenses would come out of my short-term savings, gifts or Black Friday shopping, regular shopping, things for the house, hobbies, things like that. Things that I will likely like cash flow. So cash flow items will probably be like smaller, like birthday gifts. Like when I talk about gifts coming from this, I more mean like Christmas, where I have to buy gifts for a lot of people. Like birthday gifts where it's just like one person or two a month. God, I'm a mess. So birthday gifts would probably come from that. Things like self-care. So that would be like massages, haircuts, and then my annual bills will be cash flowed. And that's because like I really don't have that much money in here. But my annual bills are very small. So it's like Amazon, which I split it with my sister and our friends, so it's not that much, like maybe $50. And then our renter's insurance, my half is like $75 or maybe even less now that I'm thinking about it. And then my credit card bill is, I think, the highest amount, which would be $95. So those are all things that I can cash flow and just include in my monthly budgets. I just have to make sure to remember them. So I'm keeping very detailed notes of when I do what, like when I had my haircut, when I had my last massage, when my credit card fee was due. And then travel is something that I want to try and figure out. I'm not sure exactly how I want to handle travel. So it's travel and buffer are things that I need to figure out. I think travel, what I'll do is try to when I know I have a trip coming up, I will try to do like a savings challenge maybe. To fund the upcoming trip. And then my buffer, I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I do want to get my buffer up to $1,000. I might, like for the first few months, I might just save like from the extra money that I have that would normally go to this. I might take like $100 or 150, $200, and then like send it to my buffer. So I'm thinking that's what I'll do, but I'm not sure yet. So I know this has been all over the place, but basically the reasons that I'm not doing the sinking funds anymore is because I find it hard to save like a tiny bit of like $6 for annual each paycheck or month or whatever. I like to save in big chunks. And also simplicity. I was kind of finding it hard to keep track of each sinking fund and how much I had to take out of one and put into the other and all of that. For the sake of simplicity, just lumping them all together in this short-term savings account, I think will work a little better for me. And the final thing, and really the main thing, is I really, really want to focus on these long-term goals. Like, I don't want to just save money to spend, which is what I was doing the last few months. But I want to grow my savings or something a little bigger. again, a potential down payment on a house. And obviously I have to work on my retirement, and I don't think there's going to be a way for me to max out my Roth IRA this year because I haven't contributed a single dollar to it, because obviously I was unemployed for the majority of the first half of the year. But I do want to try to, at very minimum, put $3,000 in this second half of the year. I'm gonna shoot for a little bit more, and then hopefully get it maxed out by tax day in 2023. Hopefully, we'll see. But so yeah, this is a little rambly and I was all over the place. I tried to prepare for it, but it turns out I don't know. So then the next part of the video will be another cash unstuffing. So let me just bring this over here, bring this into the frame for my calculator. So this is the money from the first cash unstuffing, that from the sinking funds. This is going to the bank to pay off my credit card. And now we'll work on unstuffing these, and then we'll be done. So Christmas, I had 100, 200, 50, 300, 10, and 15. $315. I'm gonna do this a little differently. So gifts, we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 110, 120, 135. So we have 135. Self-care, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. Black Friday, we have 50, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200, 210. For annual, I had 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33. Let's count that again. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33. Shopping, I had 50, 120, and 40, and 50, and 60, 70, 75, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 186. For hobbies, I had 10, 20, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. I didn't count that. Sorry, I don't know. Shoot, now we're off. I guess we can stop this. So we have 30 for Sunday maybe. Travel, we had $100. And then this was the emergency fund I never got around to labeling, but I think there was $81 there. Since I forgot to count, we're gonna have to go through and count this cash. So there it is, empty, my empty envelopes. All right, let's start over. So we have $300. 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350. We have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 320. $10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, plus 170. Let's count that again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So my initial math is telling me that we have $1,231. Let's check that again. Yep. All right, so basically what I'm doing is I'm taking these $1,200 and just putting it in my short-term savings. And then, so that's the short-term savings. This is what I'm taking to put towards my credit card. So overall, there's like $2,000 here. I'm taking this cash that we just unstuffed, putting it in my short-term savings account, and starting with my paycheck tomorrow, which is July 5th, I'm going to start doing this. I'm gonna try this for like 2 or 3 months and see if it works. If it doesn't, maybe I'll try like a hybrid of sinking funds and then still this. So maybe what that would mean is, I don't know, maybe cash stuffing this portion of it, but it would be minimal. Like this will never be more than $400, I don't think. So for the whole month, not per paycheck. So we'll see. I'm gonna see if this works for now. If it doesn't work, we'll figure something else out. I am open to things. I am still so new to budgeting. This will be my, so April, May, June. This will be my 4th month doing it. And it's been a struggle. It's not been easy, and this is one of the things I've been struggling with. So I'm gonna try something else and hope that it's a better fit for me. Again, these numbers are not set in stone. So maybe like, I don't know what the scenario might be, but one month I may do like 38% to my Roth IRA, 37% to my long-term savings, and then 25% to short-term savings, or maybe this will be 30% and this will be 30%. So there's some room to move things, but this is kind of like the general idea of what I want to follow with my paychecks. So basically it'll be like my net paycheck, which I still don't know what it will be. I'll find out tomorrow when this video goes up. So my net paycheck, and then I'll have bills. I'll have my variable. And then I'll have savings. And then from savings, I'll have my Roth IRA. then long term, and then short term. But yeah, so that is really all I have for today's video. Thank you for joining me as I try to figure out what I want to do with my money. It's hard to figure out a routine that works because I have a limited amount of money, and ideally I would be fully funding all of my sinking funds every single month. I'll be saving separately for long-term goals and investing for retirement, but I just don't make enough money to be doing all that. So I needed to really figure out what my priorities are, and the here and now and just spending money to spend money is not one of them. I need to cut back on my spending. It is still out of control. Like, I've done better with like clothes shopping. I didn't buy any clothes at all in June. I bought some stuff for hobbies, but that was more of some activities, some like hobby stuff to do stuff with my sister. So I feel good about what I've spent in regards to that. But my spending has still been struggling, and I need to rein that in so that I can get these things funded. Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention is that for now, I'm not going to be doing any more cash stuffings, but it's something that I do enjoy doing. So I might see if maybe cash stuffing my personal like spending is something I can do. I don't know. I didn't want to do that because I like to pay for all my things on my credit card, but I might consider doing that because I'm gonna miss cash stuffing, and I have all the supplies already, so I'll be ready to go if I do decide to do that. For the month of July, I'm definitely not gonna be doing any cash stuffings, and I will see if I decide I want to cash stuff my personal spending. But I just wanted to make a quick note of that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you haven't done so already, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. Bye.